Well, any typical healthcare facility has your standard purchasing as well as facilities folks, but we find often most of the major decisions are the people really within the individual departments. In other words, a lot of these decisions are made from a decentralized standpoint, meaning any given nurse in the head of a department could really be the one ultimately making a decision on the furniture. So really the best way to approach a large healthcare institution is to obviously make an entry through the standard avenues, but once you penetrate that account, you need to constantly go deeper and deeper downstream to all of the individual decision makers. Well, within any healthcare market, probably the largest projects we wind up doing, a good percentage of that business is the administration furniture, meaning all the desks, systems, side chairs, anything you would typically find in a corporate environment. That said, the best way to get into any given project, say with a design firm or obviously a large end user, would be KI's niche products in all the patient room areas. The seating, the patient chairs, recliners, the sleepover products. With the new Athena product, we're very excited that this will too also continue the trend that Soltis started to get in the door and get a good entryway into these great projects. All of today's large healthcare projects, hospitals, healing centers, etc., they're making a very strong push toward single patient rooms. Within those single patient rooms, there usually is a space, not usually, there definitely is a space to invite the families to come in, to spend as much time with the patient and be very involved in the healing process. It is just a known fact that the more involved the friends and family of the patient are, the quicker and honestly the more, I don't know the word, just the better the healing process.
And when you kind of sit down with the key decision makers, do you paint that picture, or did they usually have an understanding of that already?
It depends on the level of sophistication of that particular health system, say. Most of the large projects have already adopted this approach. But if you're going in and renovating existing spaces, or maybe your smaller centers, you might be viewed more of an educator in that standpoint. But I would say for the most part, this is a pretty commonly accepted trend in the industry. Well, the folks in the healthcare industry, you just have to really look what is their primary goal or focus, and it's really patient-based, anything having to help the healing process. So sure, when it comes to the interiors, I mean, what are the most important things that patient really is interacting with and their family and friends on a day-to-day basis? It's their overall comfort, how they feel, and certainly furniture plays a large role in that.
So,
yeah, I think when you're dealing with the average healthcare professional, you need to come at them probably more so as a consultant than maybe some other markets. And really, you got to research, you got to pre-call plan, you have to know all of the latest trends in healthcare. You need to know, what's important to them. Infectious control. You need to know, what are the, concerns of falls, for example, in a typical healthcare industry, typical healthcare facility. You need to know, really just, engulf yourself into the healthcare world. No, really, I think at the end of the day, you don't need to be an expert in any one particular facet of the industry. However, you do need to be a generalist and know where to go to get that information. With regard to the textiles, probably within the last decade. That's probably in our contract furniture industry, inclusive of the textiles. It's probably one of the areas where there have been the most technologically, or technological advancements with nanotechs, krypton fabrics, all the antimicrobial facets of those particular textiles. So you don't need to know, all of the details, but certainly you do need to know bits and pieces of everything. Well, the last thing you want to do is come off as, an expert. Certainly doctors, RNs, folks in the healthcare industry, they're going to know more than us. We need to know what they're talking about, and when they ask a specific question that we don't know the answer to, I think the response is probably, sales 101. I hear what you're saying. Let me redefine exactly what I think it is that you're asking, and then tell them you'll get back to them. And there are a lot of great resources within KI as well as Palace that can help give very specific healthcare-based answers to some of those questions that you will be facing. Okay. As a new salesperson in our industry, whether you're just starting from another industry or you're young, just fresh out of furniture sales school, you have to be careful that you don't fall into a very deadly trap, and that is being basically a talking brochure, coming at the customer and basically vomiting all this product, feature, benefit dumping type of information. And this is something I still to this day have to remind myself to do, and that's first and foremost, be a great listener. You need to understand the customer's basic needs, what their problems are, and ultimately how you as a sales professional can help them solve their problems. So, furniture becomes a very small part of that. Certainly that's what we get paid to do, but you need to know what are those problems that these customers face. What are the common industry trends that you can speak of? You need to come across as, you hear the word consultant a lot, but ultimately you need to provide, beyond just selling them a table or a chair, you need to provide value to their projects. Well, I would say my favorite market, and probably because I have the most experience in a lot of my larger projects are in this marketplace, and certainly KI is the industry leader, that would be higher education. But it's a very exciting time to be in higher education. The methodology of teaching is going through some drastic changes. Very traditional approaches to learning, not teaching, to learning, are really being tested and changed on a daily basis. And again, it's just a marketplace where we have tons of information, a lot of research, a lot of great customers, and at the end of the day, KI has a lot of great products to service this market.